Hi, I'm Aeon on this video. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to more Jump Dash. Today we're doing Congregation. I know this sounds like an absolute meme. Well, we are doing Congregation now. This is the weekly demon for April Fools. And I didn't really have any expectations to be beating this anytime soon, but then it became the weekly demon. I was like, that would be funny. I can't miss the weekly demon. I miss the weekly demon like all the time. I don't really know why I decided this was a good idea, but we're going to be doing Congregation twice today. Once for the weekly demon, once regularly. It's going to be a good time. I've been practicing this for a little while, just like on and off for myself, and I'll be fully committing to it whenever I finish Scream Machine, even though Scream Machine is the hardest thing ever made. So 6? I don't really know. I don't really have anything going on. We're just going to be playing it for a little bit. I'm going to be playing it for like an hour today, maybe, just like see if I can get somewhere, and it'll be a good time. 11? I don't know why that jump is so hard. That jump is just tough. But yeah, no, this level is pretty fun. I could see it becoming kind of a drag because of the beginning. I don't know. I feel like this is one of those levels that's only really boring because you will end up dying to the same couple of inputs all the time. Like this jump right here is absolutely impossible, and there's like a few clicks here and there that are just really hard. So I feel like this is one of those levels that will get boring whenever I get really consistent at everything that gets consistent, and then the inconsistent things are just going to be frustrating. We're going to see what happens. I don't really have any expectations, right? Like this is just, it's a hard level that is memed. That's pretty much all there is to it, right? I feel like this is a level that a lot of people have been waiting for me to do though. The Congregation jump scare meme is kind of like a part of my brand almost at this point. Like the past like 10 meme videos have just been Congregation jump scares. Even the Congregation jump scare YouTube channel has like made dedicated memes to me. So I feel like this is just one of those levels that it's just made for me to beat at some point. So we are here now, ready to beat the Congregation. 15? That's another tough gap. The ball part, I don't really find that bad. The ball part is, well, similar to the first cube here and pretty much everything in this level. Each part has like a couple inputs each that are like really tough, and then everything else is like very consistent and manageable, which is why I think that at some point this level is going to end up getting very boring, not because of the fact that it's like super hard or anything or necessarily boring to play, but because of the fact that it will just be like a pass these 2 choke points per section kind of grind. 18. Damn. That's another tough click. That's to be expected. Hey, we're getting further, right? We're making progress. 22. That was a really dumb death. I should not have died to that. I find that last click like not too bad. I was just a throw. But hey, making progress, right? I'm starting to get better at the beginning. Still just struggling with 5 really, but I'm getting better at all the other clicks. I'm getting more and more consistent. Never mind. Take it back. I'm on a one-way trip to Throwtopia. No, I went too late. 27? Oh, that's a really dumb throw. On our way to getting far. That was awesome. 33? Oh, that was sort of, wow, that's a lame death. Wow, that's a lame death. $39? Damn, that's the last hard click as well. That is legitimately the last hard click before the drop though, so kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. 39. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. The rest of the level I played over on twitch.tv/AeonAir. If you guys want to go check that out, link is in the description. Come watch me live. I stream every single day, basically. We're doing Cosmic Cyclone next, if you want to watch that. Yeah. I would never understand why people are like, try not to fall asleep challenge with this level. Do you really have attention span that bad that you just fall asleep? I feel like this is one of those levels that it's hard to not focus on because every timing is like actually requires timing. It's not just muscle memory. I find levels that are like explicitly flow to be much more sleeper, like Irreverence. But you click more than once every minute, Aeon. Well, you don't actually have to think. You just kind of click to how you know you're supposed to click and then hope for the best. That's much more sleeper in my opinion. With a level like this, I feel like you have to like always focus because every single click is something that you have to like time. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Do I consider this a memory level? Why would I consider this memory? Why has this been a topic of conversation twice in 2 days? Do people like genuinely consider this a memory level? This is like the most straightforward level ever created, but the blocks are invisible at times. Okay, it's like 2% memory. We're going. Tim, thank you so much. How are you doing, man? Agreed. Are we doing good? We're not going to talk about that. I mean, if your hardest demon is a hard demon, I don't think you can really say anything. But you know, kind of like a 3-year-old having an opinion on the world economics and political state of the world. You know, and you kind of just doesn't function that way. Only people whose age is a prime number should be allowed to vote. I can't wait for all the 2-year-olds to vote, dude. And before the 2 is not a prime number crowd pops into chat, isn't the whole 1 is not a prime number debate just like a bunch of people being pedantic about the wording of what a prime number is? From what I know, the people who are like, 1 is not a prime number is the idea that it has to be divisible by itself and 1. And because 1 is itself, the wording for it doesn't make sense, therefore it's not a prime number. And here's a bunch of people being like super pretentious about it. Who cares? Mathematicians are nerds and can't even beat extreme demons. I actually know way too many maths majors who beat extreme demons. So you're kind of wrong. But I want you to be right, so I'm going to agree with you. 1 isn't a prime number. Don't believe me? Put a finger up your ass. It's so true, though. Like, only having 1 finger up your ass is not prime. 3, on the other hand, oh, now we're talking. Sometimes I wonder if my girlfriend questions what I say, because she can hear me. Yeah, I don't think being a math nerd in primary school makes you a mathematician. I gotta agree with Zeronium here. That makes you capable of basic human intellect. Like, being a math nerd in primary school is like being able to do division with 2 numbers. Double-digit number division. Aeon agrees with Zeronium for once. I agree with Zeronium on a lot of things, such as extremely demons being kind of cool. Being able to finish the division with a decimal at the end in primary school. If you did that when you were like 12, honestly, you were kind of insufferable. Like, if you had more than 1 decimal at the end of your answer in anything math related before you turned 15, you were pretentious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, pulling out the 5 divided by 2. That's a bad example. 7 divided by 3 and you pull out more than 1 decimal point, you were just annoying, dude. Hey, Aeon, did you know another person is streaming right now? Way to enter the chat. The worms are entering. Shout outs to all the worms in the world. Without you, agriculture would probably kind of suck because there would be no worms to eat the ground. We're circling back to primary / elementary school here, but did you guys have that one kid in your class who was like weirdly obsessed with worms? Like, in every recess he would just kind of like dig up a worm? Or is that just my school thing? Because I swear every school where I knew someone, they had a kid like that. It definitely happened. Yeah, exactly. Every school got that one kid. Yeah, see, I think you're just missing out, Wobbly. Every school had the worm kid. If you didn't know that the school had the worm kid, you were probably the worm kid yourself. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if there's like a very massive stereotype of a person who's like in every school and you just don't know that that person is in your school, it's kind of like the have you ever heard of the clown who hunts for straight people? And then you say no. And then it's like, ahaha, so you're not straight. Lol. You're just the worm kid. If you don't have the worm kid, you are the worm kid. Mine never did that, so you are the worm kid. You hate worms though? Yeah, you dig them up to eradicate them.
They're like the evil worm kid.
You don't dig them up out of fascination. You dig them up to murder them. You know, worms. I got the early bird up my ass today. Holy shit. Every single timing I'm doing is like 7 hours early. Holy shit. Have I ever eaten a worm through your apple? No. The only way I would ever have eaten a worm in my apple is if I ate the whole worm in one bite. I've never been met with half a worm in my apple. I also admittedly don't eat apples, so I'm gonna sound like the most doctor person of all time right now, but apples, kind of a D tier fruit. Yeah, apples are incredibly overrated. The best way to eat apples is like sprinkled with cinnamon on it. Like, if you eat an apple and you have like cinnamon on top of the apple, it's kind of good. And then like maybe dip it in like peanut butter or something. I've heard that's good. I haven't tried the peanut butter part, but apples covered in cinnamon, very good. Apples on their own, they're all right, I guess. Apples are like the Ed Sheeran of fruit. Incredibly inoffensive. And nobody like really hates them. But they're a lot of people's like top fruit for some reason. And is like always super popular. It makes no sense. Because it's very basic. Maple syrup covered in ice. Snow hit different and crazy good. Why would you... Huh? You walk outside, scoop up a snowball and dip it in maple syrup? That has to be a Canadian thing. I was gonna say that's more Canadian than buying a parking lot for $7 million. But I feel like my viewers aren't old enough to... appreciate the America or the Canadian housing crisis. You know, I know a lot about Canadian housing prices. I know way more about Canadian housing prices than I care to admit, because one of my favorite series on TikTok was that one guy who was comparing Canadian houses with literal European castles. And he would be like, this is what you can get for 10 million Canadian dollars in Europe. And it was like this literal 1500s castle. And he would be like, in Canada, you can get a shed. This is equally funny every time. Average Calgary housing price. So true. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy a shed in Canada? Like, who cares about an Italian castle near the Alps with a literal 5 million acre vineyard connected to it? Like, who wants to get that when you can get a 150 square meter shed in Canada? Like, who even lives in Italy, dude? Like, what's the point of living in Italy when you can live like the center of the universe? Alberta. That was a sorry. That's awful. So my bad. I love talking about adult issues that no one other than like 3 people in my chat can relate to. Boo. That was worth it. I didn't usually find that jump very hard. I was just too focused on saying boo. Can't believe we got congregation jump scared on AeonAir stream. I know, right? Why is it always this click? Like, there is just a genuine mental thing about this one input. Because this is the only click I find genuinely hard, and I don't know why. Because it is identical to 3 clicks before it. It is a copy-paste of the clicks before it, and it's still just 50 times harder. Why? It is the most expected death of all time, so I can't be mad about it. I just do not understand why that click is harder than the other ones. I thought of that. 63. That was a lame death. But hey, we got to the robot. That was the goal for the day. That was a lame death. But as I said earlier, those like 3 orb combos are like the hardest part of the robot. So it makes sense. 63. That's wild. Fuck. 74. Oh well. I was a little bit low. Hopefully tomorrow we can beat it. That'd be cool, right? Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good session. This will be my hardest. No, not even close. Like, I'll include progress, but I won't include like very random deaths. It's just useless. I beat congregation. That's kind of cool. 100? I beat congregation and scream machine on the same day? What the hell? Wowza! That's crazy. I mean, is it really a fluke from 74 though? 74 is like the last hard click. Wow! This level is cool. I like it. It's fun. I don't think this is boring. I explained it a couple times before, but because of the fact that no timing is like muscle memory reliant, it feels very consistently engaging. So even though there's a lot of time between each click, because you have to focus on every single click because you can't rely on muscle memory, I found it to be very engaging. Yeah, that was fun. I liked it. I was the 9th person to beat it for weekly. I'm so pro, dude. Oh yeah. So that was like a week late. Oh my god, I get the chest! Yes! Chest complete. So it's time to rebeat it. Anyway. No! 105%? That's crazy.